Welcome, Seeker.
Have you ever felt a presence in the forest, like the trees were watching? Or woken from a dream that felt more real than waking life itself? What if I told you that these moments, these glimpses beyond the veil, aren't random, but invitations? Throughout history, mystics, seers, and tribal elders have spoken of a world behind this one, a realm of spirits, ancestors, and living symbols, a hidden dimension woven through our reality, accessed not by machines or intellect, but by the quiet beating of a drum and the willingness to listen. This is the world of shamanic journeying, not a religion, not a belief system, but a sacred art and ancient technology of consciousness that allows the practitioner to step beyond ordinary perception into the luminous fabric of the unseen. Shamans have existed in every culture, from the steppes of Siberia to the jungles of the Amazon. They were the bridge walkers, the soul healers, the ones who knew how to find answers not in books, but in stones, dreams, and the whispered language of the wind. But shamanic journeying isn't just for tribal elders. It's for anyone with the courage to close their eyes and step inward. It begins with rhythm, with breath, with a call into the darkness that echoes back with meaning. In this video, we will explore the forgotten roots of this ancient practice and uncover why so many spiritual seekers are returning to it today. We'll break down what a shamanic journey really is beyond the Hollywood myths and guide you through the first steps of entering this sacred inner landscape. We'll explore the world's shamans travel through the lower, middle, and upper realms, what they represent, and how each holds keys to our healing, insight, and transformation. And finally, we'll look at practical ways you can begin your own journey, safely, respectfully, and with reverence. So if you've ever wondered what lies beyond the veil, if you've ever felt the calling in your bones but didn't know where to begin, this is where the path starts. To understand shamanic journeying, we must first step back, not just decades, but millennia. Long before cities rose, before temples were carved from stone or sacred texts were inked onto scrolls, there were the drum beats around the fire. And within that rhythm, the first shamans crossed the threshold. The word shaman itself originates from the Tungusic peoples of Siberia Zaman, meaning one who knows. But this archetype, this role of the spirit walker, is far older than language. It predates written history, and remarkably, it appears across every continent in cultures separated by oceans and time. In ancient Mongolia, the shaman was the mediator between humans and the Tengri, the sky gods. Among the Sami of northern Europe, they traveled through the auroras to commune with nature spirits. The Shipibo Konibo of the Amazon painted visions of their journeys into intricate geometric tapestries. And in pre-Columbian America, the sacred vision quests of native tribes initiated young warriors into direct contact with the divine. Though the names vary: curandero, sangoma, and koko, kahuna, mambo, the essence remains the same. A shaman is one who journeys between worlds to bring back healing, insight, and harmony. But how does it work? Unlike traditional religions that often place divinity in the heavens or scriptures, shamanism is animistic. It holds that everything stone, tree, river, animal, ancestor is alive and has spirit. The cosmos is not a machine to be observed, but a living, breathing web of consciousness to be engaged with directly. The drum is not just an instrument, it is a vessel. Its rhythm shifts the brain from beta to theta waves, mimicking the dream state opening, a gateway to the non-ordinary realms. In these altered states, time bends, symbols become landscapes, animals speak, and healing can occur not just in the mind, but in the soul. Philosophically, shamanism is rooted in direct experience. It doesn't ask you to believe, it invites you to see for yourself. It's the original mysticism. No priest, no doctrine, just you and the spirit world. But over time, this path was suppressed. With the rise of organized religion and rationalist science, shamanism was labeled primitive, superstitious, even demonic. Colonization, forced conversions, and cultural erasure silenced countless wisdom keepers. What was once sacred became forbidden. Ceremonies went underground. Languages were lost. And yet, like an ember hidden in ash, the shamanic flame never died. Today, in a world obsessed with speed and noise, more and more are turning back to the ancient ways, not to escape, but to remember, to reawaken a part of us that still knows how to listen to the earth, to speak with dreams, to walk between worlds. Because shamanism isn't just about healing others. It's about reclaiming your place in the great cosmic web. It's about remembering that you, too, are a sacred being, part of something far vaster than you were ever told. And it begins with the journey inward. So, what is a shamanic journey? Really? At its core, a shamanic journey is the deliberate act of leaving ordinary consciousness to enter a deeper, non-ordinary reality, a reality populated by archetypal beings, ancient guides, animal spirits, and layers of symbolic meaning. It is not fantasy. It is not hallucination. It is an ancient science of the soul, practiced by cultures across the ages. And the journey always begins with intention. You do not enter the spirit world aimlessly. You go with a purpose, to heal, to understand, to retrieve lost parts of yourself. The intention is your compass. It shapes the path, the experience, the destination. But how does one actually begin? The most traditional tool of entry is the drumbeat, steady, repetitive, and hypnotic, roughly 4 to 7 beats per second. This rhythm mirrors the heartbeat of the earth and induces a trance-like state, shifting brain waves into the theta range, the same frequency found in deep meditation, REM sleep, and hypnagogic visions. As the sound washes over you, you begin to detach. Your body becomes still. Your awareness shifts inward. You pass through what many call the veil, that liminal space where the seen and unseen touch. Here, in this in-between, you encounter the lower world. Despite the name, this is not a realm of darkness or evil. In fact, many traditions speak of it as the place of primal wisdom. Here dwell the animal spirits, guardians of instinct and power. Serpents, wolves, eagles, jaguars, each carry symbolic lessons tailored to your path. One may appear as protector, another as challenger, but all act as mirrors, reflecting forgotten parts of yourself. Then there is the upper world, a more ethereal realm, often luminous, where you may meet spirit teachers, ancestors, or archetypal beings. This is the realm of vision, prophecy, and higher guidance. The middle world, on the other hand, resembles our own reality, but imbued with spiritual depth. Here, one might journey to interact with the energy of a forest, the spirit of a place, or even the soul of a living person for the sake of healing or communication. But these worlds are not physical locations. They are states of consciousness, dimensional layers that overlap our own world, accessed not through spacecraft or telescopes, but through focused awareness, sacred intention, and the ancient rhythms of the earth. One common tool used in beginner journeying is the world tree, a cosmic axis that connects all realms. In Norse mythology, it was Yggdrasil. In Siberian shamanism, a tree rising from the heart of the earth to the stars. As you descend its roots or climb its branches in your journey, you traverse the invisible architecture of the soul. Now, you might ask, how do I know I'm not just imagining all this? That's a fair question, and a profound one. In shamanic practice, imagination isn't dismissed. It's the bridge. In fact, many traditions say that what we call imagination is a doorway to the spirit world, distorted only by disbelief. The trick is not to control the vision, but to let it unfold. You observe, you receive, you surrender. And you'll find that what arises is often far more intelligent, symbolic, and emotionally resonant than anything the rational mind could fabricate. And here's the mystery. Even skeptics, when they journey with openness, report the same symbols, same realms, and same experiences, echoes of a shared spiritual reality that transcends culture, language, and belief. You are not making it up. You are remembering something ancient, a skill embedded in your ancestral DNA. Let this sink in. The capacity to journey lies dormant within you, waiting to be activated, not by belief, but by practice. If you're feeling the stirrings of curiosity, or maybe even deja vu, you're not alone. Drop a comment below sharing your first impressions or questions. And don't forget to subscribe. We're just getting started. Now that you understand the structure of the shamanic realms, let us go deeper into the mysteries most never speak of. Because shamanic journeying is not just about visions and symbols. It is about relationship. Everything in the spirit world is alive. Every animal, every landscape, every encounter is conscious. And like any relationship, it deepens through time, sincerity, and presence. You don't just see a power animal once and move on. You cultivate an alliance. You ask, you listen, you give offerings. You treat them with reverence, not as tools but as teachers. In the old traditions, this relationship was reciprocal. Shamans didn't just take. They offered tobacco, water, feathers, breath. They sang songs and beat drums, not to command spirits, but to call them with love. This is why journeying must never be used for control or ego. It is a dialogue, not a domination. And here lies a deeper truth. Shamanic journeying isn't about escape. It's about integration. The journeys show you what is hidden in your life. They reveal what your conscious mind resists. And they do this through symbolic language, the only language the soul understands. For example, if you meet a serpent coiled in a cave, it may be a sign of transformation, of shedding old skins. But maybe it also reflects your fear of your own power, or a repressed energy waiting to awaken. The shaman does not ask, "Is it real?" The shaman asks, "What is it showing me?" This symbolic lens allows you to decipher the architecture of your own psyche. Dreams become maps. Visions become medicine. Shadows become allies. Now, let's address a common myth. You must be born into a lineage to journey. False. While it is true that indigenous traditions have sacred protocols and ancestral lineages, the ability to journey is not confined by bloodlines. It is human. What matters is respect. When we approach these practices with humility, we honor those who kept this wisdom alive through centuries of colonization and suppression. Another myth, shamanic journeying is dangerous. This one is nuanced. Yes, journeying opens you to powerful energies. Yes, it can stir up the unconscious. But danger comes not from the spirits, but from the traveler's ego. If you enter with arrogance, if you seek power for its own sake, you may become ungrounded, lost in illusions, mistaking fantasy for truth. But if you prepare, set clear intention, protect your space, and stay grounded, you will find that these journeys are not chaotic. They are ordered, they are intelligent, they reveal what is needed, not always what is wanted. Let's go one layer deeper. Shamanic journeying is not merely a spiritual tool. It is a mode of consciousness, a way of being in the world. In many cultures, the shaman walks with one foot in the invisible and one foot in the mundane. They become the bridge, not only during ritual, but always. They can sense the energy of a place. They listen to the dreams of the land. They heal not just individuals, but the web of life. This is not fantasy. This is ancient human technology, an operating system for consciousness that predates civilization. And today, as the modern world spirals into chaos and disconnection, this ancient way offers something priceless: reconnection to yourself, to nature, to the deeper rhythms of existence. The first steps may feel uncertain, but they are enough to begin the unfolding. If this is resonating with you, let me know in the comments. Have you journeyed before? What called you to this path? And if you haven't already, subscribe to stay connected. The path ahead only gets deeper. Let's now move from mystery to method, from ancient vision to your lived experience. The shamanic path does not belong in theory. It must be walked, felt, embodied. And this begins with your first journey. Here's how to begin. 1. Prepare your space. Before you step between worlds, you must create a container. Not just for safety, but for sacredness. Find a quiet, undisturbed space. Dim the lights. Light a candle or burn some sacred herb, sage, palo santo, or copal. These are not decorations. They are invitations. Their smoke is an offering to the unseen, signaling that you come with respect. Sit or lie down comfortably, spine aligned but relaxed. Keep a blanket nearby. You may get cold. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. 2. Set your intention. This is the compass of the journey. Without it, you may drift into fantasy or confusion. With it, the spirit world responds. Your intention could be, I wish to meet my power animal. I seek insight on a challenge in my life. I ask to receive a healing. Say it out loud or whisper it to your heart. The more sincere your intention, the more potent the response. 3. Choose your drumbeat or sound traditionally. Shamans use the steady beat of a drum or rattle to enter trance. You don't need to play it yourself. There are many recordings available with rhythms between 4 to 7 beats per second, mimicking the theta brainwave state. This rhythm is not random. It entrains your brain, guiding you gently into the liminal state between waking and dreaming. Put on your headphones, press play, and surrender to the rhythm. 4. Begin the descent. Visualize yourself at the entrance to a tunnel, cave, hollow tree, or natural passage. This is your portal to the lower world. Imagine yourself walking through it. Go slowly. Don't force it. Allow the imagery to unfold naturally. As you move deeper, you may start to see animals, feel presences, hear whispers. Let it happen. Trust what you receive. Even if it feels imagined, stay with it. This is the language of spirit. 5. Meeting your ally. At some point, you may be approached by a creature, often an animal. Don't chase it, wait. If it circles you, comes close, or engages you 3 or more times, this is a sign. This may be your power animal, a guide sent to walk with you. Observe it. What is its energy? What does it teach through its movement, its gaze? Ask, what are you here to show me? Then, listen. 6. Return and record. When the drumming changes or ends, it's time to return. Visualize yourself leaving the realm through the same path you entered. Thank any beings or guides you met. Then gently return to your body. Take a few minutes to sit in silence. Then write down everything: images, emotions, symbols. These are keys. What seems like nonsense now may become clear later. Important guidance. Don't expect Hollywood visions. Sometimes it's subtle, a feeling, a flash, a color. With practice, it deepens. Avoid journeying if you're emotionally unstable, under the influence of substances, or seeking escape. Always ground after. Touch the earth, eat something, breathe deeply. And most importantly, don't rush the process. This is not about mastering the spirit world overnight. It is about building trust with yourself and with the unseen realms. Try this once a week. Let it unfold like a dream, revealing itself over time. And remember, just because it feels ancient doesn't mean it is inaccessible. Shamanic journeying is your birthright. If this practice calls to you, let me know your experience in the comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel for more guided wisdom on the mystical path ahead. In a world obsessed with the external speed, screens, and noise, shamanic journeying is a return to something primal and profoundly real. It is not a fantasy. It is not a trend. It is an ancient doorway still pulsing beneath the surface of your being, waiting for you to knock. When you journey, you are not escaping reality. You are peeling back the veil to see reality more clearly. The energies, archetypes, and guides that shape your inner and outer worlds. You are stepping into a lineage far older than history books can record. A lineage whispered by firelight, carried on the breath of drums, held in the memory of stone and river and root, and perhaps you felt it calling, the urge to go deeper, to reconnect with the unseen, to remember what your ancestors once knew in their bones. That spirit is not out there. It lives within you, in dreams, in silence, in the flicker behind your eyes when you close them. This is only the beginning. What starts as a visualization may one day become a conversation. What begins as a question may soon lead to initiation. But the first step is always the same, intention. So light your candle, beat the drum, close your eyes, and ask the ancient ones to walk with you again. If this resonated with you, leave a comment below. Have you tried journeying before? Are you curious to begin? And if you wish to walk deeper into the mysteries of the soul, the cosmos, and the hidden layers of reality, subscribe to this channel. Together, we will explore what has long been forgotten and awaken what has never been lost. Until next time, journey well. And remember, the path is not ahead of you. It is within you.